Welcome to Classified Captures.
Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from strange UFO sightings to clips of cryptids we never even thought could exist. Ready to have your mind blown? Well, let's dive right in. This video was shared by a couple who had been experiencing strange encounters in their home. The bizarre thing about these strange activities and encounters is that they got worse when they had their first child, a beautiful baby girl. The clip on your screen is one of those terrifying moments. The family was in their yard, packing their van for a trip. Both parents were busy, and the toddler was wandering around when she fell. If you pay attention to the clip, you'll realize that it looks like an unseen force seems to have aggressively pulled the child to the ground. The parents immediately turn and rush out to check on her. Let's take a closer look at it again. The family is there, and then, out of nowhere, something pushes the toddler down. The video ends there, but given how hard she fell, it could have easily caused bruises and even broken bones. The couple has no idea what's going on. It's as if the entity or whatever it is lurking in the house is targeting their child, but they can't seem to figure out what it is or why it's happening. Some feel it's a ghost, whereas others think it might be a grumpy spirit in the home that has a thing against families and children. Personally, I'm not sure what to make of this one, so what are your thoughts? I have 3 clips shared by 3 different people in New York. The first 2 were taken on the same day, January the 26th, 2025, whereas the third was taken on the 2nd of February, 2025. So basically, they're all recent. The first clip is already playing, but let's take a closer look. In this first clip, a man noticed the sky light up in a bright blue color.
Coming from Con Edison over there.
The blue light flickered and occasionally shifted to red for a brief moment before returning to blue. The second clip shows the same phenomenon, vivid blue and red lights illuminating the sky. Strangely, there's no visible source for the light.
You see that?
Oh my gosh, what is that?
Oh, drone. TikTok.
The third clip was taken on February the 2nd, 2025, and also shows the sky light up in blue before the light suddenly stops.
Wait, what? Hold on. No. Yeah, hold on. Am I tripping?
When people started asking what was going on, officials claimed it was a blown transformer. However, no evidence of this supposed transformer was ever shown. The way the sky lit up suggests the light could be coming from behind the clouds. I don't think transformers are up there blowing up exactly 1 week apart, right? So if the obvious reason isn't the obvious reason, what is really going on? Many in the paranormal community are leaning toward Project Bluebeam for this one, but let's hear your thoughts.
Is y'all seeing that? Wait, what? Hold on. No. Yeah, hold on. Am I tripping?
Pokemon Go has been tracking you along, and here's how. Turns out Niantic, the company behind the game, has been collecting data from players to build a massive AI-powered navigation system. Every time you use the AR feature, which is just an abbreviation for augmented reality, your camera and location data are being gathered to map the world in incredible detail. Think about it. You're essentially handing over your location data for free, and Niantic has used this to create one of the largest real-world tracking systems out there. Here's how it works. Whenever you need data on a specific area, they place Pokemon there. Naturally, players flock to the spot to catch them, and in the process, Niantic tracks their movement via GPS. It's an impressive use of technology, but also a bit unsettling when you consider how much data were given away, often without even realizing it. I mean, the players were basically used as pawns. Anyway, what do you think? Is this a genius innovation or a privacy concern? If you're thinking of suing, well, don't. I'm sure you pretty much agreed to that when you accepted the terms. You just didn't know.
لا لا يا الحبيب لا 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 هد ريلاكس لا لا
What do we have here? It may look like a Pokemon, but it's actually not. It's just a bird. A white feathered bird with a bald neck. And as it turns its face toward the camera, it gives off a very eerie appearance. After digging around, I did confirm that this was actually an owl. But why does it look like this? Well, I'm not particularly sure, but the person who saw this bird thought it might be a witch who had shapeshifted into an owl. And looking at its appearance, I can't help but agree. Its unusual appearance makes it look almost scary. Owls are already known for their creepy looks, which is why many cultures and religions associate them with witches or evil beings, especially since they're nocturnal creatures. However, it seems more likely that this bird lost the feathers on its neck due to something like disease, injury, stress, or even molting. Yeah, some birds do shed their feathers depending on the season, like before spring or in autumn. But for this bird, we don't know for sure what's going on. What do you think happened to it?
Personally, I don't think the owl gives a hoot.
How much do you believe in coincidences? And before you say not at all, wait until you see this footage that has the internet in a frenzy. A group of friends traveling in the back of a truck captured something truly bizarre. As they rode through town, they noticed a massive swarm of birds moving in an unusual formation above them. Curious, they zoomed in, and that's when things got eerie. The birds weren't just flying in a random pattern, they'd formed a face in the sky, and not just any face, it looked exactly like Vladimir Putin. Yeah, that Putin, the president of Russia. Naturally, theories are flying everywhere. Some argue the footage is AI generated, which is entirely possible in today's digital world. But conspiracy theorists have wilder takes. Some believe it's proof of a secret technology capable of controlling animals. Others see it as a sign, maybe even a warning about global events. And of course, there are those who insist it's just an insane coincidence. But seriously, how does something this precise happen by accident? What do you think? Coincidence, conspiracy, or something else entirely? A certain team member who shall not be named believe it's pareidolia. A mother had just put her daughter to bed and was casually watching the baby monitor when she noticed something strange. Her little girl was wide awake, just lying in bed when suddenly a shadowy cat-like figure walked across the room. What's even creepier is the camera actually followed its movement as if it recognized something was there. Startled, the mother rushed to her daughter's room to check on her. She asked if there was a cat in the room, but the girl simply said no. The mother left but quickly returned, sensing something was off. This time, she gently asked her daughter if she was okay. That's when the little girl said there was a monster at the window. So to comfort her daughter, the mother checked the window and reassured her that everything was fine, but deep down, she felt uneasy. The family had a pet cat that had recently passed away, so seeing that cat-like shadow on the monitor sent chills down her spine. She replayed the footage over and over again, making sure she wasn't just imagining things, but it was clear that shadow really did resemble a cat. So what do you think? Could the pet have come back to visit the little girl one last time? Or was it something else? Meet Abby and Brittany Hensel, the remarkable conjoined twins who have fascinated the world with their unique lives. They each have separate lungs, hearts, stomachs, and spines, but they share a torso and coordinate their movements together, with each twin controlling one arm and one leg. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Abby is married, and this raises a lot of questions that people are naturally curious about. Since they are conjoined but share a reproductive systems, how does that dynamic work in a marriage? How does intimacy function when there are two separate individuals but physically connected? It's a deeply personal aspect of their lives, and while it might seem bizarre or difficult to comprehend, the reality is they've spent their entire lives navigating their world together. So when it comes to that, I'm sure they'll find a way around it, but I'm still curious though, aren't you? A man was walking through a hallway when he thought he saw something, so he stopped at a corner and started filming. At the far end of the hallway, there was just a wall with a picture frame hanging on it. When you look at the frame, you can see a dark shadow reflected in it. But there was no one else there. It could be a trick of the light or maybe even someone outside the camera's view, but then explain this. As he kept recording, a dark shadow suddenly appeared on the side of the wall. The shape was humanoid and it moved unnaturally. That's when the man freaked out and bolted out of there. Now the real question is the shadow in the frame connected to the one on the wall, or is there something even more disturbing happening here?
Look. Did you see it?
Almost everyone with a smartphone these days prefers AirPods over wired earphones, and they can all give you 1,000 reasons why, but maybe it's time to rethink that. And here's why. Take a listen. AirPods use radiation to connect both earpieces through our brains. That alone is wild. We already know how dangerous radiation can be for the human body, but the real concern is children and teenagers who are even more vulnerable since their bodies absorb radiation more easily. And it gets even crazier. These devices can track biosignals like brainwaves, heart function, and more. That means they could potentially monitor brain activity without us even knowing. Meanwhile, this technology is already available for anyone to use. If misused, you know what kind of damage it could cause. So after hearing this, would you be putting your AirPods down now? A man found this strange dried-up thing sticking out of a tree. Curious, he used an old bottle to scoop it off the bark, and when he looked inside, this thing looked like a fish, but it was still alive. How was a fish stuck inside a tree, dried up, and somehow still moving? I couldn't wrap my head around it until I saw this comment. Apparently, the tree was once underwater, and at some point, a fish got trapped inside. Over the years, the water dried up, leaving the fish embedded in the tree. But how does a fish survive for years like that? Seriously, is this even possible? Can someone explain this?
Next, they're gonna find Chip and Dale at the bottom of the ocean, or, Chip and Whale.
Olha lá, galera. Olha lá, aquela coisa lá, olha lá. O chupa-cabra lá, olha lá. Ele lá na árvore lá, olhando para nós lá, olha lá.
This next footage was shared by two friends walking home through the woods in northern Mexico when they saw this. It was a pair of glowing eyes staring right back at them. The eyes peeked out from behind a tree, locking onto the friends. They stood there filming for a moment before running away as fast as they could. In the video, you can hear one of them say, "Chupacabra." The chupacabra is a well-known cryptid in Mexico folklore, so understandably, they suspected this creature was one. But when you look closely at the eyes, they seem almost human-like. However, the eyes were very low to the ground, so whatever it was must either be crouching or very small. I don't think a human would be out there in the dark creeping on people like that, but then again, humans can be pretty weird. Could this just be a nocturnal animal? What are your thoughts?
Olha lá, galera. Olha lá, aquela coisa lá, olha lá. O chupa-cabra lá, olha lá. Ele lá na árvore lá, olhando para ela, olha lá. Olha lá. Coisa é aquela, mano. Deixa eu dar um zoom aqui pra galera ver lá.
Have you ever gotten into a hotel and felt like they had security so you were safe? Well, take a look at this video. A man heard a strange noise at his door and went to check, and what he found was chilling. There was a zip tie with a rope attached, slowly moving upward, hooking onto the door handle. The moment he shouted, it stopped. He quickly opened the door, and at the end of the hallway, a man was seen sprinting away. But here's where it gets even creepier. When he checked the back of his door, he found a magnet. The magnet was being used to control the zip tie from outside. Had he not spoken up, the intruder might have gotten inside. This is a serious reminder to stay vigilant and always lock your doors. Humans can be just as scary and dangerous as ghosts or cryptids, maybe even worse. Stay safe out there.
Hello? Hello? Wait!
A man saw this footage on his security camera and was completely shocked. It shows two strange orbs in the sky that collide, and then one falls to the ground, glows brightly, bounces back up, and flies off into the sky. I can't seem to wrap my head around what's happening here. Let's take a look at it again. Right there, just what is going on? The light bounces back up into the sky. Some people are saying this is a UFO, while others think it's more likely AI-generated footage or some kind of digital manipulation. But what are your thoughts? Is this evidence of something extraterrestrial, or is it just a clever edit? Do you remember the Miami Mall alien incident that happened back in 2024? The one where police flooded the place and people were seen running in panic, claiming they had seen a 9-foot-tall gray alien? Not sure if you already know, but later authorities dismissed it as just some kid setting off fireworks. Well, this guy in the video right here was one of the people sent to the hospital after the loud explosive sounds were heard, supposedly from the fireworks. He filmed his encounter after being treated. But while at the hospital, he was asked to sit and wait for the government official to come and talk to him. For some reason, he left without the knowledge of the doctors or police, and the moment he did, the power went out. According to him, he knew it was because of him. Since then, a series of bizarre events have followed. He goes by the name of Fitz, and after sharing this, he's gone missing. Naturally, people assume that something sinister must have happened to him, either involving the government or aliens, but that's just speculation at this point. What do you think really happened? A woman working at a trauma center walked into a room and saw the heart monitor was on and actively reading, but the room was empty. No one was hooked up to the machine. This freaked her out because just the day before, a patient had passed away in that very room. The room had been cleaned, cleared, and reset for a new patient, yet here it was, still showing a heartbeat. How is this even happening? Is it just a technical glitch, or is something else lingering in that room? Could it be a ghost? She definitely does believe that's what's happening, but there's no way to test this hypothesis scientifically. garbage man was out on his usual early morning shift around 4 a.m. when he parked his truck to collect some trash. But when he returned, he saw something he never expected. Inside the hopper, which is, the part of the truck where garbage is poured, was a person. At least that's what it looked like. You can see legs sticking out, moving up and down, while hands slap against bare thighs. But here's the creepy part. The person never lifts their head, so we can't see their face. The legs, however, look very much alive. The video cuts off there, so we never see what happens next. Did the garbage man call for help? Did the person say anything, or did they just vanish into the trash? If this was a real person, they were either mentally unstable or doing something very, very strange and dangerous. I mean, it could have just been a bizarre prank, but I have a feeling that there's something more unsettling going on here. Everyone wants to smell good, so most people rely on deodorants to stay fresh. But have you ever considered how unhealthy some of these deodorants might be? Most commercial deodorants contain chemicals that seep into our bodies through the skin. These chemicals have been linked to hormonal imbalances, Alzheimer's disease, and even breast cancer, especially in women, since the armpits are so close to the breast tissue. So what's the alternative? We can't just walk around with body odor, right? Interestingly, body odor is a natural pheromone, and while other animals recognize and respond to their own pheromones, humans tend to mask theirs with artificial scents. Maybe it's time to explore healthier alternatives like natural deodorants, essential oils, or even diet-based solutions that help regulate body odor without exposing us to harmful chemicals. What do you think? Would you switch to a natural alternative if it meant avoiding health risks? Is such an alternative even possible? Next, we got a young man who was out with his mom in the snowy woods. It was a serene sight until they came across some rather unusual footprints. Once they started looking around, they saw a creature whom it might belong to in the distance. It wasn't just one, but two fur-covered figures moving effortlessly through the snow. From a distance, their forms were covered in brown fur from head to toe, and judging by their size, they had to be at least 7 feet tall or more. Skeptics are saying it's just people in costumes, but look at the way they move. There's something too natural about it. The way they stride through the deep snow without struggle seems almost inhuman. So what do you think? Just a hoax, or could this be real Bigfoot footage?
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right.
What you're looking at isn't a sinking ship. Well, technically it is, but this ship was built to sink. Let me explain. This is the RP Flip, a one-of-a-kind research vessel built in 1962. Unlike regular ships, the Flip, which stands for Floating Instrument Platform, was designed to flip vertically in the water. It normally floats like a regular boat, but when needed, it tilts 90 degrees, leaving only a small portion above water. Why? Because this unique design allows scientists to study the ocean with minimal interference from surface waves. The Flip was used for oceanographic research, measuring things like wave heights, water temperance, acoustic signals, ocean density, and many more. Since it doesn't have an engine, it was usually towed into position before being flipped. And yes, people could actually live on this ship. The interior was specially designed so that when it flipped, everything from beds, sinks, and toilets remained functional in both horizontal and vertical positions, because there were 2 of each built and positioned to function even when it flipped. The Flip was retired in 2023, but in 2024 a new company purchased it and is now preparing to return it to the sea for more research. Sounds interesting, but would you ever board a ship that intentionally sinked? This footage is definitely mind-boggling, but let's break it down. A man was parked at a fuel station in the middle of the night when he noticed a glowing orb descending toward the ground. Then, out of nowhere, several figures emerged from it and started walking hastily in a particular direction. Even stranger, one of them appeared to pull the orb down until it shrank and disappeared. Now, this has sparked wild theories. Some people say that they're time travelers using a portal device, while others insist it's proof of extraterrestrials. But if you ask me, this footage seems suspicious. There are plenty of AI-generated and edited videos floating around online, and this one has all the hallmarks of a well-made hoax. That's not to say portals or aliens don't exist, but this specific clip, well, I'm pretty skeptical. What do you think, though? Real, fake, or something in between? This grandmother was hanging out with her granddaughter in the living room when something strange happened. The little girl pointed at something in the dining room that was out of the camera's view. When the grandmother asked her what she was looking at, the toddler said she was pointing at the dining room. The grandmother told her to take her hand and show her, but the little girl was too scared to go there. So the grandmother walked over and scolded this invisible presence in their dining room. When the family saw the footage, they were all scared. At first, they thought the little girl was just playing with an imaginary friend. But according to the family, the situation was getting worse by the day. It wasn't as innocent or cute as we often see with imaginary friends. In the footage, you can see that the little girl is genuinely terrified of whatever she's seeing. We don't see anything out of the ordinary in the clip, but do you think the child is really seeing things, or it's just an overactive imagination at work?
What? Who's coming?
Him coming.
Who?
Him.
You see somebody back there?
Him.
Who?
Him.
Him?
Yeah.
Where's he at? Is he in our house?
Yeah.
Where? Show me.
A hiker at Three Corner Rock Mountains in Washington state captured this dark furred creature with a domed head moving through the trees. The image isn't too blurry, but the distance makes it hard to tell exactly what it is. Some say it looks like a silverback gorilla, while others believe it could be a Bigfoot sighting. Washington state has had a long history of Bigfoot reports, so this wouldn't be the first time someone spotted something unusual in the area. But without more details like its height, movement, or clearer images, it's hard to say for sure. What's your take? Bigfoot, gorilla, or something else entirely? But before you say gorilla, there are no wild gorillas in Washington, D.C., so think carefully before you answer. This video was taken by a homeowner in Malaysia. She had gone out for a while and returned home to find something strange coming out of a bathroom. It's this long, black, snake-like creature on the floor, but here's the weird part. It had no head, and it's slithering very slowly across the ground. To me, it looks like a giant slug. The homeowner had no idea how it got into her house and was too scared to sleep there after the creature had been dealt with. She didn't say how it was dealt with or what they discovered after, but some people are saying this could be a hoax. Looking at the clip, I understand them. Anyway, you've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think this is? Could it be some kind of unknown creature, or is it just a prank gone too far? This clip was recorded by a woman whose nap was interrupted when she heard drawers in her room opening and slamming shut by themselves. She opened her eyes only to see something terrifying. Look at them closely. There's no sign of wires, strings, or any kind of manipulation. It seems like something unseen is doing this. The woman believes it's an evil entity targeting her and her family, and it keeps bothering her, possibly to scare her. Now, there are entities said to be relatively harmless. They feed on fear and will do anything to keep us frightened. She's saying this was caused by one of them, but what do you think? Is she telling the truth, or is she pranking us all for her 5 minutes of fame? Can humans levitate? If your answer is no, it's basically because you've not seen this clip. This was allegedly recorded in the woods, and it shows a strange man sitting cross-legged on the grass. He was waving his hands around oddly, and after a while, he laid flat on his back. Then something unbelievable happened. The man started to levitate. He rose into the air until he turned himself upright while floating. He had a skipping rope around his neck, which he began swinging over his body while he hovered above the ground. The quality of the clip makes some think that this isn't real, but who knows how long ago this was recorded. Anyway, what do you think? Is this some kind of supernatural ability, a clever trick, or something else entirely? A drone pilot was out in the countryside just hoping to capture some peaceful footage of the open fields and greenery. But what he saw next was anything but peaceful. As his drone soared over the landscape, it suddenly passed over a group of people gathered below. At first, nothing seemed out of ordinary until he took a closer look. There were actually 3 people in black robes with white masks. They were standing in a circle, holding a strange object in the center. As the drone got closer, they dropped the object, raised their hands, and simultaneously bowed. They repeated this motion, bowing and lifting their arms until they noticed the drone and stared directly at it. Then, strangely, one of them made a hand motion and the drone began to move backwards. According to the drone pilot, he lost control of the device as soon as the person did that. These people look extremely suspicious, like some sort of cult. But skeptics think this might just be staged. What do you think? Is this evidence of something supernatural or ritualistic, or is it just an elaborate hoax? Still on drone pilots, this clip comes from one who was taking a bird's eye view of this castle when something unexpected happened. As the drone flew over the place, it captured something eerie. It was a faint white shadow shaped like a knight moving through the castle. Take a closer look, it's unmistakable. The pilot was shocked when he saw this, but given the castle's history and how long it's been standing, it's not entirely surprising. This is Berkeley Castle, built back in 1153. You can tell its age from the architecture and materials used. It's said to be one of the oldest inhabited castles in England. But it's also the place where King Edward II was killed. I'm sure he's not the only one to have died there. There are likely many spirits stuck there haunting the place. At least that's what many in the community think. What about you? What do you think?
Man, I would have loved to have been an English knight.
Back, pilot, or I shall smite you with my mighty sword.
For most of the footage we see on this channel, we've come across humans with strange, unexplained abilities, but have you ever thought about dogs with strange abilities? Take a look at this security footage. It's someone's backyard with a pool and people walking around when something unbelievable happens. The dog just runs across the water to the other side of the pool. The pool doesn't look shallow and you can see the surface of the pool rippling as the dog runs. There's no way this is fake. Does this dog have super strength or some kind of supernatural ability? The people around didn't even seem to notice because they weren't paying attention, but this is absolutely fascinating. A dog running on water. Now, that's a new one, at least that's what I thought, until a certain person mentioned that there was a net keeping the dog afloat. Yeah, it was disappointing to say the least, but hey, at least we know dogs aren't taking over the world. An image taken on Mars back in 2001 has resurfaced, and it's causing quite a stir. It's this square-shaped structure on the surface of Mars. The shape was spotted after zooming it on an image of the planet, and it was found inside a crater. The reason for all the excitement is that many believe perfect geometric shapes like this can't occur naturally, especially with how straight the lines are. The sides of the square are said to measure about 3 kilometers. This has led to speculation that this isn't a natural formation and could have been made by aliens. However, for those who don't know, perfect geometric shapes do exist in nature. For example, there's something called cube pyrite, which forms naturally into perfect cubes. Far be it from me, however, to stop anyone from believing in what could be. So what do you also think? Is this a sign of extraterrestrial activity or just a fascinating natural phenomenon? Someone was filming the beautiful, bright harvest moon, capturing its stunning glow in the night sky. But here's where things get strange, because something unexpected appeared in the frame. Look closely, and you'll see a dark, thin streak moving across the moon. It doesn't seem to be from the camera, nor does it look edited. It's almost smoky, like a shadow drifting by. Now, theories are all over the place. Some say it's a flock of birds, but when you analyze the movement, it doesn't really behave like one. Others joke that it could be a witch on a broomstick, though that seems far-fetched. And then, of course, some believe it might be something extraterrestrial. But what do you think? Is this a natural phenomenon, or is it something more mysterious? This girl was in a studio filming herself in front of a massive mirror. Everything seemed normal until it wasn't. As she turned to face the mirror and bent down to pick something up, something moved near the door. You wouldn't notice it at first, but in the mirror's reflection, a dark figure briefly appeared. The girl saw it too. She froze for a split second before panicking and bolting out of the room. Now, watch closely. The moment she turns around to face whatever she sees, the figure vanishes. It wasn't just a shadow. It had shape, presence, something almost human, but not quite. I've watched this over and over, and I have my theories. I'd love to hear yours, however. What do you think just happened?
So, this is a trading board, and I'm going to...
This woman had a towel between her and a mirror. However, the mirror is still able to reflect her on the other side of the towel. It looks so strange and almost impossible at first glance. Some people say that mirrors are like portals, and this is a demonstration of why they think that. But do you know about the angle of reflection? This phenomenon can explain what's happening here. When light hits the mirror at a certain angle, it can bounce off and create a reflection even if there's an object partially blocking its view. It's all about how light travels and interacts with surfaces. So there's no portal but rather physics. And no, Julius didn't remind me this time. I reminded myself. Thank you.
I'm blocked. How does the mirror know?
Whilst in an aircraft, someone filmed this strange thing in the sky. It's a glowing circle with white, smoky edges. These things have been appearing all over the world. They look like some sort of portals, but scientists have not yet come out to address them. No official statements, no explanations. It's like the scientific community is just as perplexed as the rest of us, leaving the door wide open for wild theories and endless questions. Now, it's got people buzzing with speculation. Are we witnessing some interdimensional phenomenon? Could these be portals opening up in the sky? And if they're portals, where do they lead to? Turning our gaze toward the heavens again, a mystery unfolds in footage capturing 3 mesmerizing glowing orbs suspended in the sky. At an unknown location, 3 glowing orbs were spotted in the sky. They were an orange hue and were in the formation of a triangle. Now, that alone would be enough to raise a few eyebrows, right? But here's where it gets even stranger. As these mysterious lights move, something peculiar catches the eye. It's as if these glowing orbs are all part of one cohesive unit, dancing in perfect harmony. The triangular formation remains intact. So what are we looking at? Some are entertaining the idea that there is something beyond human comprehension at play, an extraterrestrial presence or an advanced technology that surpasses our current understanding of aerospace. So here we are, faced with another enigma in the cosmos. On a tranquil day, a strange event occurred on a rice farm located in Indonesia. A metallic ball suddenly fell from the sky, startling the residents in the vicinity. The ball appeared to be very unusual, and people quickly left their homes to witness the unexpected event. As they arrived at the farm, they saw the ball lying on the ground, and everyone seemed confused and surprised at this strange situation. The ball had a metallic look, and its surface was smooth with no markings or writings on it. The nature of this ball and the reason for its fall remain unknown. Some people suggested that it could be debris from space or even extraterrestrial in origin. However, there was no way to confirm this theory yet. Fortunately, no one was harmed during the incident, and the authorities were informed to investigate the matter further. In this amazing video, we don't see a ghost, but something even more incredible, a majestic creature with bat-like wings and horns on its head soaring through the sky. This isn't just a bird, it's like a creature from a legend, a dragon in all its breathtaking glory. Seeing such a mythical creature makes us question the world and what we know. How could something like this exist outside of stories and old tales? Is this real footage or perhaps a hoax? I mean, if we can make insects, this should be a cup of tea, right? But even so, I can't help but wonder, from ghosts to legendary monsters, I wonder what else there is to see. Embarking on a mysterious journey to the heart of the Babala forest in Brazil, a group of hikers stumble upon a chilling discovery. A lifeless creature lying in their path. Its skin was very pale, and its body resembled that of a bipedal being. But then, you never know these days with all the weird things happening. Looking at this creature, we have no idea what it could be or how it even got there. The residents of the area were alarmed by this finding and marked it as an omen and a sign of impending doom. Oh boy, it sounds like we've got ourselves a creature feature straight out of a swampy horror movie. The creature, by all accounts, has a face that's a bizarre blend of fishy features, a fish-like face and mouth, black eyes staring into the void, and no suggestion of a nose. Now that's a catch that does not qualify for dinner. What in the world could this be? Is it a mutant fish, an undiscovered species, or perhaps something straight out of a horror movie? There have been many instances of videos circulating online that claim to show evidence of alien life, but some appear to be fake. One such video is this strange creature supposedly spotted in the clouds. The creature is a huge entity with tentacles. The person who shared the footage believes that it's an alien. However, something seems off here. The said alien is darker than its surroundings, which is a telltale sign that the footage has been created using computer-generated imagery. The creature is clearly out of place in its environment. In the middle of the night, a young man stumbled upon a peculiar object hovering above the ground. Upon closer inspection, he noticed that it appeared to be a ring-shaped formation made up of several small orbs. The strange object was swaying back and forth in a rhythm that seemed to defy any logical explanation. While some might argue that it was nothing more than a group of balloons, the time of night made this explanation seem unlikely. As a result, some began to speculate that the object was actually a ghostly apparition or some sort of otherworldly entity. I mean, I want to believe it, but you know that Harry Potter spell? Ridiculous. That's what comes to mind. What do you think it is? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thanks for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode. Well, the mystery deepens as a trail camera working its night shift in the heart of the forest captures a peculiar creature that's enough to send shivers down your spine. A creature with a long, crooked neck. This creature we are seeing on the screen is what people call the Campy monster. The term Champy is often associated with Champ, the legendary lake monster said to inhabit Lake Champlain primarily in the United States and Canada. Champ has been a subject of local folklore and legend, with reported sightings and accounts stretching back for decades. Descriptions of Champ often include a long-necked creature resembling a plesiosaur, a group of prehistoric marine reptiles known for their distinctive long necks and flippers. Could this be one of them? Now that's adorable, right? That's clearly a baby shark enjoying itself out there. But wait, it gets scary and quite upsetting really quickly. Yeah, I told you, that didn't last at all. The clip went from cute and cuddly to big and dangerous real quick. The wild is truly wild, and you don't want to mess with it. This is definitely an incredible and rare piece of footage. It's a shame that little one had to die, though. In Mexico, there's a famous entity known as La Llorona. This spirit of a woman is mostly seen weeping, and when people hear ominous cries at night, they often believe it's La Llorona. However, in this footage, a man encountered something entirely different.
Aquí anda algo. No mames, miren esa madresota. No mames. ¿Quién eres, güey? No mames, ¿quién eres? ¡Ay, capago de su puta madre! No mames! At first, he heard strange sounds like a woman weeping and whimpering, but couldn't see what it was. He kept calling out to it, trying to locate the source of the eerie cries. Suddenly, emerging from the dark was a huge dark figure crawling toward him. Terrified, the man ran out of there as fast as he could. The question remains, what did he encounter? While the wailing matched the traditional description, the appearance of the large crawling figure deviates from the typical ghostly image. What do you think this dark figure could be? No mames, miren esa madresota. No mames. ¿Quién eres, güey? No mames, ¿quién eres? Ay, capago de su puta. There are stories of creatures that make strange sounds to lure people toward them, only to attack or capture them. One such creature known for this behavior is the skinwalker. Apart from their ability to shapeshift, skinwalkers are said to use eerie sounds to draw people in. Take this footage, for instance. Someone was out one night when they began hearing a strange noise. It sounded like some sort of gurgling or choking sound. Yet as they looked ahead toward where the sound was coming from, there was no one and nothing in sight. The person scanned the area with their camera, but the source of the noise was nowhere in sight. The footage ends without revealing the source of the sound, leaving viewers to speculate. Some believe it was a genuine skinwalker encounter, citing the creature's notorious reputation for using sound to disorient and trap its victims. Others suggested it might have been an animal or even a clever hoax. As intriguing as these sound, I'd like to hear from you. What do you think of everything?
In the vast skies above Venezuela in 2023, a group of mesmerized onlookers captures a celestial show that challenges the norms of the ordinary. Initially, a fleet of radiant objects was spotted hovering in the night sky like otherworldly gems. However, the spectacle takes an astonishing twist as these celestial wonders undergo a spellbinding metamorphosis. Slowly but surely, the luminous objects transform into what can only be termed sky snakes. What's your take on this sky show? Alien acrobats or an elaborate light display with a serpent twist? A Facebook user posted this disturbing image that has left netizens scratching their heads. The person had taken a picture of the Pipestone Monument, unaware of what was on top of the stone until he took a second look at the image, and there it was. A strange-looking figure comes into view, standing at the edge of the rock and seemingly peering down. When the image is zoomed in, this mysterious figure takes on an otherworldly appearance, almost like a ghostly presence, pale face and long hair. Now, there is a cemetery not far from the area, so people believe that it could be the spirit of a native child standing there or another spirit from the cemetery. But what do you guys think? Stepping away from the strange, I've got something fascinating for you. Take a good look. In the clip, you can see what looks like a jellyfish moving gracefully through the water. Its bell has beautiful detailed patterns, and its long flowing tentacles drift behind. While these tentacles can sting, they also highlight the stunning beauty and fascinating complexity of the jellyfish. This creature is known as a chirodectus. Chirodectus is a rare and mesmerizing species of box jellyfish discovered in the mysterious depths of the ocean. Unlike many other jellyfish, Chirodectus exhibit unique and captivating features. Its translucent body and pulsating movements give it an almost otherworldly appearance. Seeing the Chirodectus jellyfish showcases the amazing variety of life in the deep sea, a realm that's still largely unexplored and full of mysteries. The ocean's depths are teeming with countless undiscovered species, each with its own unique way of surviving and adapting to the harsh conditions. I know I've said it before, but it's a wonderful world, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It sounds like a goat is dying.
What in the heck?
We have mentioned time and time again how fruits are becoming strange on the market. This family allegedly bought a seedless watermelon from Walmart, and whilst cutting through it, it made strange sounds. Pay attention.
It sounds like a goat is dying.
What in the heck?
You heard that right. It's strange and very unnatural. For some reason, however, we keep coming across more of such fruit clips, which has left the team worried. We feel like it's our responsibility to warn you guys, so please be careful out there.
We bought like an acid ball watermelon.
Ew. It doesn't smell good. Oh my gosh.
That thing was fizzing and popping.
A hiker while in the mountains spotted something strange walking in the forest below. At first glance, the figure resembled a human, but upon closer inspection, subtle indications of dark fur all over the body emerge. The tantalizing possibility arises: could this elusive being be the legendary Bigfoot? Looking at the size of the creature from that distance, there is a high chance that is a Bigfoot, but then again, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt because humans can be very dubious sometimes. What's your take on this mountain encounter? A genuine Bigfoot sighting or just a brush with the shadows of the wild? Or a hoax? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, can you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you now, would you? Embarking on a mysterious journey deep in the woods of Scotland, our attention is drawn to a hunter's startling discovery. At first glance, the creature lying there appears to be some kind of monkey, but as our explorer inches closer, he's hit with a sight that's jaw-dropping than any game he's probably ever hunted. The creature has the ears of a bat, and its mouth is slightly open, showing razor-sharp teeth. This is not a creature that eats fruits for breakfast. Naturally, this discovery has the internet buzzing with speculation. Some folks are throwing around the wild idea that it could be a baby werewolf, while others are leaning toward a hybrid of some sort. So here's the million-dollar question. What in the world is this creature? Is it a character straight out of folklore tales, or did the hunter stumble upon the real deal? This person was captured from afar in the wilderness. Although not very clear, you can make out the silhouette of a slender person. The person appears to be wearing a robe with an oddly shaped head protruding from their body. The ears were sticking out, resembling the iconic ears of Yoda from Star Wars. What creature could we be looking at? Some might see it as a rare encounter with something beyond our understanding. Others might think it's just our brains playing tricks on us, showing us things that aren't there. What about you? What do you think? At first glance, this footage looks like a capture of the sky with a beautiful shade of blue. However, if you examine the footage more closely, you will see that there is something else there too, a strange entity that comes and goes. This entity moves in a back-and-forth motion, appearing and disappearing at seemingly random intervals. While it might resemble a cloud, it moves too quickly to be one. Could this be some sort of ghostly apparition? It's hard to say for sure, but it's certainly a possibility worth considering, don't you think? Our narrative takes an otherworldly turn as we journey to Japan, where a peculiar incident has left onlookers baffled and intrigued. There was a strange structure captured in the sky. It looked like some sort of a pillar, and from that pillar, strange objects flew out. This looks like something ripped from the pages of a sci-fi script, where aliens come to Earth on a mothership that has smaller ships in it. Could that be the situation here? Because I don't think humans now have the technology to build structures in the sky. We're not quite there yet, so this leaves us with the lingering possibility that it could be an alien mothership. Now, before we label it a crazy theory, let's acknowledge that the world is full of mysteries, and sometimes reality can be just as mind-bending as fiction. There are wonders all around the world. Each day, humans are presented with something new to discuss. This clip captures the astonishing moment when a group of men from a native village stumbled upon a peculiar creature while fishing along the riverside. The creature has a bluish body, a pair of human-like arms and legs, and a head resembling an alien. The concept of extraterrestrial life has long captured the human imagination, fueled by countless accounts of unidentified flying objects and alleged encounters. The possibility that this entity might be a product of human experimentation in a laboratory couldn't be dismissed either. With advances in genetic engineering and bioengineering, the line between science fiction and reality has blurred, giving rise to ethical concerns about the creation of hybrid organisms. So is this one of the said aliens or something whipped up in a lab? Tell me what you see. It appears that there is an entity moving in the water, and although it's not visible, there's a clear indication that something quite large is present in the water. Some people believe that this could be a massive sea creature swimming out of the water. However, I'm inclined to think that it's an electrical cable being dragged out of the water, and the water's movement is causing the cable to appear to be moving on its own. What's your opinion on this footage? This was captured in the United States. The exact location is unknown. It was taken by a late-night beachgoer who had sneaked onto the beach to take a swim. While on the beach, the individual noticed this pale creature that was crawling on its hands and feet. The creature was waddling along the shoreline with calculated steps, moving in a manner that was both eerie and unsettling. Thankfully, the person who captured the footage was able to find a hiding spot and remain unnoticed by the creature. Despite this, the creature's appearance and behavior have left many people wondering what it could be. Some speculate that it may be a bloodthirsty monster, while others believe it could be a rake. Until more information is available, it's impossible to say for sure what the creature is or what its intentions might be. Personally, I have doubts about its authenticity, but I wouldn't want to be that guy, so let's move on. Our journey into the mysterious takes another chilling turn as we delve into security footage from a parking lot. The seemingly routine scene unfolds with a van driving by, yet, as it fades from view, an inexplicable event occurs. Out of thin air, a mysterious man materializes in the middle of the parking lot. There was no one there, but after the van drove by, a man appeared out of nowhere and walked away. How is that even possible? Did he teleport there or what? Share your thoughts. Talk about a mid-air mystery that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Imagine being on a plane looking out of the window and suddenly noticing that the propeller seems frozen in time, not doing the usual spin that provides reassurance during a flight. It's that kind of sight that could make your heart skip a beat, and that's what happened to our unfortunate cinematographer for this clip. A little alarmed, our vigilant passenger took out his phone to film it, but something even stranger occurred. In the video, the propeller was still, but when he moved the phone, the propeller began to function. This was quite strange, but it appears that the mysterious interplay between the human eye, the camera lens, and the spinning propeller creates a visual illusion that plays tricks on our perception. So fear not, the plane isn't defying the laws of aviation, it's just an optical illusion. The AI revolution is here, and no one is safe, not even artists.
AI created music.
My Julia, you are like the sun.
Have you heard about the new feature on YouTube Shorts? It's pretty incredible. Users can now create any song they want using the voices of their favorite artists. Imagine remixing a classic tune or creating an entirely new track with the vocals of top musicians. This feature opens up a world of creative possibilities for aspiring musicians and content creators alike. You can experiment with different genres, mix various artists' voices, and produce unique music videos. It's like having a virtual studio at your fingertips. Not only does this bring fun, interactive element to YouTube Shorts, but it also allows fans to engage with their favorite artists in a completely new way. Whether you're a seasoned musician or just someone who loves to play around with music, this feature is something for everyone. While this must be exciting for the fans, you have to wonder, how will the actual artists feel? It's almost impossible for them to sue since this is being developed in conjunction with the major studios out there. In other words, artists don't have much of a say. Am I the only one who finds this innovation sad? Anyway, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section.
Drinking tequila, hanging with my friends.
Yeah, AI is crazy, bro.
I got 1,000 people watching me.
Bro, I ain't made a song like this in years.
I haven't said this before, but this time I need to. Whatever you do, do not try what you are about to see in this clip at home.
Yeah, that might be it. Hey, we got it.
Try it again.
No way! No way! In the clip, you can see two cars with two men standing between them. Both men have one hand on a car battery and their free hand holding each other. One man stands on the ground while the other leans on one car with his feet propped up on another. Miraculously, the car starts without using jumper cables. A commenter who claimed to be an auto tech with almost 15 years of experience shared his insight. As an auto tech of almost 15 years, I'd say it is plausible given the guy in the vehicle jumping the other car has himself grounded to both cars. The other guy holding his hand is on the actual ground. They have completed the circuit like jumper cables would. Some sketchy stuff, but it's possible. So is this the case here? Can humans really complete an electrical circuit to jumpstart a car? Well, as you would expect, there was an ongoing war in the comments section. Some thought it was possible, with the only catch being the electricity going through their bodies was bad for their hearts. Others simply thought it was ludicrous. They thought the clip might have been edited or that the car didn't really need to be jump-started. This is out of my expertise, and Julius, our science whiz, only laughs when I ask if this is possible. So in times like this, I turn to you all who are experts in this field with a humble heart and puppy eyes. Could you please tell us all if this is possible, as we'd really love to learn from you.
No way! No way!
Quite recently, there was a commotion in Miami, and the whole situation can be attributed to a suspected alien sighting in the region. Various images have since been going around, but it seems these photos might be one of the clearest. There you can see the creature, about 7 to 8 feet tall, walking. According to the owner of the footage, the creature was very visible for one moment and then started to become transparent until it finally vanished. Residents from the area have confirmed this as well, but according to the police, there was no creature on site. However, on the night of the incident, there were hundreds of police surrounding the area, with some in choppers in the sky, which makes the whole thing very suspicious. The conflicting reports raise questions about the validity and nature of the alleged alien sighting. Residents remain divided on the credibility of the incident, sparking debates and speculation within the community. Having seen this footage, what do you also think? What are we looking at here? This strange exhibition in a museum has left everyone perplexed. We can see what looks like 3 human hands attached to a bicycle. The hands are covered in black long gloves, so we do not know what lies beneath them. 2 of the arms are on the ground, I guess serving as the legs, while the third one is in the sky making the rock on sign with its fingers. It's like someone unleashed a surreal puppet show on an unsuspecting audience. Speaking of the audience, they're not just intrigued, but downright baffled. The covered arms making the whole scene a mystery, making it impossible to tell if these limbs are mechanically crafted or, dare I say it, possessed by some otherworldly force. And you know it's got people talking when the speculation meter swings all the way to the possessed object theory. But what do you guys say this is?
Hi there! Oh my goodness!
Behold, the Dobson fly. With its long antennas on its head and wings with intricate patterns, it almost looks like a delicate dancer as it rotates on the girl's palm.
Oh, look at the baby. Oh, she's doing the spins. She's doing the spins.
The Dobson fly is known for its striking appearance and mesmerizing movements. These insects are large, with impressive wingspans and antennae that help them navigate their environment. They're agile too, capable of delicate rotations that add to their captivating charm. In its larvae stage, the Dobson fly lives underwater, feeding on other aquatic creatures. As adults, they emerge to feed on nectar and are often seen near bodies of water where they lay their eggs. Despite their imposing appearance, Dobson flies are harmless to humans and play an important role in their ecosystems. Cool, huh?
Oh, she's doing the spins. She's doing the spins. Hi. Hi there.
Walk to the end of this tunnel, see what's back here.
If you searched hard enough on your next visit to Los Angeles, you're sure to find an extensive network of abandoned tunnels that were used to secretly transport alcohol and other goods. There are an estimated 91 tunnels crisscrossing beneath the city that were originally constructed during the Prohibition era for the purpose of secret goods transport. Over the years, the tunnels have served various purposes beyond their initial use. They've been utilized for transportation, connecting key parts of the city, and providing passageways for utility conduits. These tunnels are a significant, albeit hidden, part of Los Angeles infrastructure. Today, many of these tunnels are inaccessible, either sealed off or restricted to the public. Despite this, they remain a fascinating element of the city's history, a testament to its adaptive and clandestine past. The stories and legends surrounding these tunnels continue to intrigue both locals and visitors, preserving their legacy as a mysterious and integral component of Los Angeles. A part of me wants to investigate these tunnels, but who knows what we'll find down there. That's without considering the laws we'll be breaking. Has any of you seen these tunnels? Any stories to share? Let's take a look at this next footage. Here we have a creature that looks like a collection of tangled twigs. Now, imagine walking into a place and seeing twigs slithering about. If that doesn't scream scary and creepy, then I don't know what would. Now, the big question on everybody's mind: what in the world is this thing? Some are throwing around the idea that it might be a parasite or some kind of symbiotic creature on the prowl, wiggling about in search of a host. I mean, who wouldn't be a little unnerved by a creature that's black, wiggly, and seemingly on a mission? With little to no information on this thing, we're only left with speculations on what this could be. But what do you guys think we're dealing with here? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Venturing to the beach on a sweltering afternoon, a man sought respite from the heat, but what he stumbled upon left him more heated than the scorching sun. Among some rocks under a seaweed, he saw something strange, so he picked it up, only to come face to face with a miniature skeleton of what looked like a mermaid. The skeletal remains had a combination of a human upper torso and a fish-like lower part. The shock of this unexpected encounter made the man promptly drop the mysterious carcass. Now here's where it gets juicy. Do you think this is a long-awaited confirmation that mermaids are more than just legends, or could it be an elaborate prank played on unsuspecting beachgoers? NASA launched a rover to Mars to explore the planet's surface. According to the one who uploaded this clip, during the mission, the rover stumbled upon an unexpected discovery: a finger. It's, however, unclear who it belongs to. According to him, further analysis is yet to be carried out to determine its origin and to understand how it ended up on the planet. There's a possibility that it could belong to extraterrestrial life, or it could have belonged to a human who previously visited the planet. As much as I want to believe this is true, everything about it screams hoax and false. I mean, if NASA discovered something like this, it would be big news, unless, of course, they're in cahoots with the aliens. What do you guys think? As we all know, technology has advanced far beyond our wildest imaginations. Tesla's work with robots is an excellent example of this. However, what caught my attention recently was something even more fascinating: a piece of footage that we discovered. It shows a person holding what appears to be a fly in their hand, but on closer examination, it becomes clear that this insect is not a natural one. It appears to be made entirely of metal and has a head that doesn't resemble that of a regular insect. There were some in the paranormal community, however, who thought it looked like a cicada or a jarfly. I looked them up and I get where they're coming from, but this isn't it. This discovery raises many questions that I find intriguing. For instance, who made this metal fly, and for what purpose? Are there other animals or insects in the wild that are not real, like this one? If so, what implications does this have for our understanding of the natural world? Ever heard of hand fishing? Well, it's as the name goes, fishing with your bare hands. This type of fishing has been trending quite recently, and as absurd as it sounds, people have been able to catch all kinds of fish using this method. However, we have a man who was quite unfortunate. The man went hand fishing and caught a hammerhead shark, more like he offered his hand as lunch to the fish. As soon as the fish grabs on his arm, it doesn't let go. You can see him thrashing around in pain. However, a few observations were made on this footage. Hammerheads have such sharp teeth that would have bitten off his hand already, meaning this is fake footage. But what do you think? Because at first I thought the shark had got him. Here is another footage of a robot taken in Russia. We witness a human in a boxing ring against a formidable opponent, a robot. As the match unfolds, it becomes apparent that the odds are stacked in favor of the mechanical contender. The man launches his attack and the machine defends easily, but when the robot attacks, it lands two perfect punches that leave the man out cold. Is it that they are out of human players or just wanted to watch a person get beat up? Because this is clearly not a fair fight. Once again, everyone wants us to believe that this is real, but my assistant showed me the original video, and I must state, this is just impressive CGI. During an expedition in the dense rainforests of Brazil, a curious explorer stumbled upon a set of mysterious bones. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that the bones were of an unusual shape and didn't resemble any known human bones. This naturally created a buzz, even amongst those in the scientific community, with some speculating that they could be the remains of an extraterrestrial creature. A number of them, after examining the bones, thought it had to be fake. Simply put, the authenticity of the footage has been a topic of debate with mixed hypotheses. If proven to be authentic, this discovery could provide some of the strongest evidence yet that aliens exist amongst us. Having seen it with your own eyes, what do you think? Here we have another situation that is considered a glitch in the Matrix. A man came home from work, and as he entered his room, he noticed a tissue paper that was hanging midair in the corner. The tissue paper appears to be suspended midair without any visible means of support. But not just that, it was also frozen in time, which was quite perplexing. He searched the surrounding area for any evidence of strings or wires, but there was none. The tissue paper seemed to be hanging there on its own accord. One of the commentators on the original post was not amused. He believed the room had cobwebs. Julius thinks it's a hoax and Aaron thinks demonic beings are playing tricks on him. What do you think? In Japan, a homeowner bought a house that was haunted. He has records of ghostly activities in the house, and the most shocking of all is this footage here. He put 2 toilet papers on a stick and placed them on the walls of the stairway. That part of the house has a lot of activity, so watch what happens to the rolls. In a few moments, an unknown force grabs onto the rolls and starts to pull. This footage has been studied and confirmed to not be edited. This man should leave that house, unless he's friends with the ghost haunting the house. Well, then good for him. We've all heard of the company Tesla by Elon Musk. This company has achieved a lot of technological milestones to a point that it seems scary. Even Elon Musk himself has said so. In this footage, we can see a Tesla robot being handed a hat and a gun. The robot shoots the gun at a Tesla car to test if the car is bulletproof. After that, another robot comes out of the car unharmed. While the demonstration showcases impressive advancements in technology and automation, it also sparks a contemplation of the implications. The ease with which the robot handles the gun raises questions about the evolving capabilities of artificial intelligence. The seamless execution of tasks by these robots brings to mind the concept of singularity, a point where AI could surpass human intelligence, prompting both awe and a tinge of unease. That's if the video was true, at least. I must say, it had me in the first half, but this has to be one of the most impressive CGIs I have ever seen. Unless, of course, it's truly real. Can anyone confirm? Children are very playful and imaginative, often having the wildest of imaginations. However, it's also believed that they are more attuned to the spiritual realm because of their innocence, making them more likely to see things that adults cannot.
Oh my God!
What's the matter?
I just want to sleep with you now.
A mother placed a camera in her daughter's room after the girl started waking up in the middle of the night, screaming that an evil man was watching her. What she captured during one of those nights is chilling. By the bed was a strange-looking face, staring right at the girl. In another footage, the woman heard strange noises coming from her daughter's room. But when she checked, there was no one there. This indicates that the child was not just seeing things, but the question remains, what could this entity be, and why is it targeting the little girl? Speaking of strange and unexplainable phenomena, take a look at this one. So, a group of explorers allegedly came across this previously uncontacted tribe deep in the woods. The tribe was naturally careful of their strange and uninvited visitors. They looked at them with confusion and tried to scare them off. Despite their best efforts, these individuals stayed and recorded them. Now, we're not told where this took place, but it's supposed to be deep within the woods. The first time I saw this, I was genuinely afraid for the explorers, because uncontacted tribes don't mess around. They could definitely kill you if they thought you were a threat. These guys, however, were way too understanding and did not harm the explorers despite being provoked. That's when I noticed it. Although this was supposed to be out in the deep woods, there appeared to be a tarred road in one of the shots. If this was an uncontacted tribe deep in the woods, then it's unlikely that there would be tarred roads anywhere near them. This does bring credibility to the whole clip into question. What do you guys think? Mermaids have been talked about for years, with various sightings here and there. Yet, there are still a few things that make humans pause and question if these creatures are real or if they're just characters we made up for our fairy tales and bedtime stories. However, it's footage like this that leaves us questioning if these creatures are real or not. Some people went to the Yukon River to fish when they spotted this creature that fits the mermaid description swimming by. The creature had long black hair with a silvery fish tail, and it calmly swam by. From various stories I've heard of these creatures, they're mostly hiding from humans, but not this one. It's actually approaching the fishermen. That and the graphic fidelity of the footage make the credibility of this encounter a little fishy. I'm willing to bet that I'm not the only one who thinks this footage might be a hoax. What about you? Don't be shy. Our next adventure takes us to the riverside in Thailand, where an extraordinary spectacle has captivated the villagers. A massive creature with a colorful fin emerges atop the river, drawing the attention of the enthralled audience. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Amidst the gasps and whispers, the villagers are all chanting one name: Naga. In Thai folklore, Naga is a revered sea god, often depicted as a serpent-like deity with mystical powers. But among skeptics, some attributed the sighting to a dragon, drawing upon mythical imagery, while others offered a more pragmatic interpretation, suggesting it could be an oversized fish. What do you think it is? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribe, or even dropped a comment so far, could you do so now? It goes a long way to help us to make more of these kinds of videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Here we have another strange sighting in the sky.
I think the sky is ripped in half. Come on, Cloud, get out the way.
A man noticed a straight line cutting across the sky, almost as if the sky itself was being divided by this line. This phenomenon is quite puzzling and has left many people wondering about its origin. The footage shows a clear, straight line that appears almost too perfect to be natural. It stretches across the horizon, creating a stark contrast between the two halves of the sky. This has raised numerous questions and speculations. Some speculate that it is a sign of advanced technology or even extraterrestrial activity. The precision of the line looks like the involvement of technology beyond what we currently understand, perhaps UFOs or secret military experiments. Others are considering the possibility of a naturally occurring optical illusion. Reflections, refractions, and light scattering can sometimes create surprising visual effects, making the sky appear divided by a line. Do you think this could be the result of any of those, or do you think there might be something more serious and ominous at play here? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.
Y'all see the line?
The watermelon out over a week ago. It smelled really good. Bought it from Walmart. Cut it open, and it was like plastic. Tasting it was absolutely horrible. I didn't really know what to do with it, so I threw it outside. This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
This is another clip from another set of melons allegedly bought from Walmart and thrown away because they tasted strange. Do you realize they aren't breaking down and looking like raw meat? Melons aren't supposed to look like that, which has left almost everyone confused, as many in the forums argued that the government was killing us. There was also some who thought that this was normal and exactly what melons are supposed to look like when they dry out. Do we have any farmers or fruit experts among you who can confirm and educate us? We'll be reading in the comments.
This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
Have you ever seen a skinwalker in action? No? Well, today's your lucky day. Enjoy. This was recorded by a man out in the countryside. At least, that's the impression the man who re-uploaded it gave. As he was driving, they had lights out looking around. I'm not sure why, but this allowed them to capture something rather unusual. They caught glimpses of a creature that seemed to morph from a humanoid to an animalistic state and vice versa. This clip is a tad confusing based on the extra edit, but you do see it, right? Now, the big question on everyone's mind when this was uploaded was, how's this possible? It turns out the answer is simple: skinwalker. As to whether everyone agrees, that's another thing on its own, but then again, you've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think? An observer shared some intriguing footage they captured one night that's been sparking a lot of curiosity. In the video, there's this shiny, oddly shaped figure hovering in the sky. Initially, the observer thought it might just be a bright star, but as they zoomed in, it became clear that this was no ordinary celestial object. The figure has a strange, almost otherworldly appearance that has left many baffled.
I even asked my team for their thoughts, but no one could definitively say what it was, so naturally I did some digging in the comments section where people shared their theories. One person speculated that it could be a portal opening up to who knows where. Another commenter confidentially labeled it as a UFO, which is always a possibility when it comes to mysterious sky sightings. But the comment that piqued my interest was from someone who suggested that this could be a plasma being. Now, I don't know about you, but the idea of a living entity made of plasma floating through the sky is both fascinating and a little unsettling. What do you think?
This surveillance camera that was installed to monitor the road captured something quite disturbing. As the cars were passing by, an unusual object was seen flying past. It was entirely black and appeared to have wings, but it was clear that it was not a bird. The creature looked much larger than a bird, and as it flew past, something that resembled human feet could be seen. It's quite difficult to determine what exactly the creature was, but it could be a human-bird hybrid or some kind of mutant. The incident has led to many theories and speculations, but no one knows for sure what we are looking at. Aaron thinks it might be a Garuda, but Julius points out that the whole thing is too unnatural to be a real capture. He suspects it's an elaborate hoax. What do you guys think? The phenomenon of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, has been a topic of intrigue and speculation for many years. While most reports describe saucer-shaped objects, there are instances where the shapes of UFOs have been particularly unusual. This footage captures one such instant, where an oddly shaped UFO was caught on camera. Interestingly, this type of UFO has been documented in the past, with reports dating as far back as 1561, when it was sighted in Nuremberg. The object is described as being shaped like an upside-down cursor, which is a unique and rather unexpected shape for a UFO. There is even a pamphlet from years ago that is a drawing of the said UFO, adding to the mystery surrounding it. What's your take on this?
While you think about it, take a look at this clip. Do you know what that is? Well, you can't say no because this is our bonus clip for the day. Your job is simple. Try to identify the creature in the clip and give us a unique characteristic about it. The best answer will receive a shout out from Julius if it impresses him enough. So all the best. This video was taken by a father who was at a park with his kids enjoying a day out when things took a creepy turn. The kids suddenly noticed something or someone in the woods nearby and were so spooked that they ran toward their dad. Sensing something was off, the father quickly pulled out his phone and walked toward the tree to get a better look at whatever had frightened his children. As he approached, he captured something truly bizarre. A strange, pale head, elongated far beyond what any human could have, just popping back into the bushes. The shape and movement were unnatural, almost otherworldly. What could this be? Is it an alien, some kind of mysterious cryptid, or just some creep?
This video clip was recorded of a little bird running along the sandy beach. It's quite unusual to see birds running at such a pace, as they tend to fly or walk around while looking for food. However, this particular bird seems to be moving at an extraordinary speed, almost as if it was training for a race with the Flash. It's an exaggeration, but yes, upon closer inspection it became evident that there was nothing wrong with the bird.
The reason it appeared to be moving so unnaturally fast was simply that it was moving faster than the frames per second rate of the camera used to record the video. The difference in speed between the bird and the camera's FPS rate created an optical illusion, making the bird appear to be running much faster than it actually was. Before we move on to the next clip, kindly smash the like and subscribe buttons and bell icon if you haven't already. Done? Well, let's jump back into it. A woman was going about her daily routine when she noticed something on the floor of her room. As she got closer, she realized it was a strange-looking creature that resembled a worm. The woman was unsure about the identity of the creature, so she posted this footage seeking help. Some suggested that it could be a rugworm or some other type of worm, but without a closer examination, it's hard to tell. The question that arises is how this creature ended up in her room. Did it crawl in through an open window or door, or was it brought in on someone's clothing? I'd let you guys decide on this one. Next, we've got this video that was taken in Indonesia. A woman was out on what looked like a farm, and she captured something truly strange. There was this bizarre-looking object flying over the plants, and it appeared to be on fire. As it hovered, it seemed almost otherworldly. Now here's the part that gets even weirder. You can see the woman holding the object afterward. It's greenish, almost like a fruit, except it's twisted and coiled like a snake. In the center of this coiled mass is a small, oddly shaped wooden piece. The whole thing looks like something straight out of a dark folktale. I was confused by this footage at first, unsure of what to make of it, until I saw a comment that made my jaw drop. It's a kind of long-range missile sent by someone to harm or kill the targeted person. Black magic. Apparently, this could be some type of black magic weapon designed to bring harm to someone from a distance. I know. The idea that such a thing could exist is chilling, but what other explanations can you have for this? CGI? What if it's truly real? This intriguing footage was captured by a pilot flying a Boeing 747 on the night of August 4th, 2024. In the vast expanse of the night sky, they noticed something highly unusual, a strange light that was much larger and brighter than the surrounding stars. What made it even more bizarre was its movement. Unlike the steady, predictable paths of stars as satellites, this light darted rapidly from one location to another, almost as if it had a mind of its own. The crew was completely mesmerized by the sight. The light's erratic behavior didn't align with anything they could logically explain. It wasn't behaving like a star, which is stationary relative to the Earth, nor did it resemble a satellite which follows a smooth, consistent orbit. This led them to speculate that what they were witnessing might be something out of this world, a UFO. The possibility of encountering something truly unknown, something beyond our current understanding, sent a wave of excitement and a bit of fear through the crew. After all, it's not every day that you see something in the sky that defies all expectations and explanations. Could this be evidence of extraterrestrial life, or is there a more earthly explanation for this mysterious light? There are things people expect to happen at 2 o'clock in the morning, and being woken up by a cat crying is not one of them. Now, this man doesn't own a cat, yet the cries were so loud it sounded like the cat was inside his house. He went to investigate and found something even more disturbing. Behind the storage closet, he saw the figure of a child about 10 years old, which is odd since his children are only 3 and 4 years old. Once more, his children were fast asleep in their rooms. He opened the closet door, heart pounding, but found no one there. That was not normal, and it left him shaken. And I understand that. If I had my kids in a house where these things were happening, I'd be concerned too. So who or what was the figure behind the closet? This situation is incredibly eerie. The combination of the mysterious cat's cries and the apparition of a childlike figure is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. What do you think the man encountered that night? Screams and an eerie atmosphere, coupled with the fact that this was recorded at 1 o'clock in the morning, gives this clip all the important ingredients for a horror thriller recipe. Watching this for the first time made my skin crawl. It felt ominous, as though something evil was in the atmosphere. After watching the clip several times, I realized that the entity was actually screaming something. I did the research and realized she was screaming in an Indonesian language. She screamed, "Tolong bukain," which means, "please open it." This went on for 2 days, and for some odd reason, the individual whose house this was happening decided to open the door on the 3rd day of knocking. Once the door opens, there's a strange and perhaps old-looking woman standing behind it in a strange posture. This makes the individual quickly close the door and call the police. Once the police got there, however, whatever it was gone, never to be seen again. I think it was insane to open the door. It could have been anyone or anything out there, but perhaps that's just me. What would you have done in his shoes? The videographer was out in the woods when he captured something truly bizarre. The footage shows a slender, incredibly tall creature with an elongated head and small black eyes. Its arms are so long that they reach well beyond its knees. The creature stands still, facing the camera for a few moments before quietly walking away into the trees. Could this be a real alien encounter, or is it just another fake? The footage is eerily convincing, but with the level of special effects today, it's hard to tell. What do you think? Now, what do we have here? This man was standing on this very short pole with his body hunched backwards, and there's no sign of a harness, rope, or any visible support. It's almost as if gravity has taken a break just for him. Is this some kind of black magic at work, or is this guy just exceptionally skilled at balancing his weight in a way that defies logic? The more you look at it, the stranger it gets. How is he managing this without toppling over? I simply have no words, and I don't want to get Julius involved, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. While on a hike, a man saw a huge creature standing on a mountain overlooking the trail. It was a very big humanoid being appearing to be about 9 foot tall or more. The sheer size of this creature has led many to believe that it could be a Bigfoot or a giant. The figure's towering presence and human-like shape are certainly striking, making it easy to see why people would draw such conclusions. The idea of encountering a Bigfoot or a giant is both thrilling and unsettling, sparking curiosity and debate. What do you think? Could this be a genuine sighting of a legendary creature, or is there another explanation? If you're wondering why I'm showing you pictures of an old bench, take a good look at it. Do you see it now? There appears to be a shadow of a woman either sitting on or kneeling by the bench. See? good. But how do we explain it? Well, as far as I can tell, there's no logical explanation for what we're seeing here. At least, not from my perspective. Do you have one for me? When I saw this next footage, I was so shocked. Take a look.
Move!
A man found himself stranded on a deserted road in the middle of nowhere. And the reason? There was a pool of water in the middle of the road. Now, this isn't just any ordinary puddle, because what happens next is beyond belief. He decided to throw a bottle into the water, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, a massive crocodile surfaced, wiggling about in the water. A large one at that. The fact that such a massive creature could be lurking in what seemed like just a harmless puddle is truly terrifying. Makes you think twice about crossing any mysterious bodies of water, doesn't it? What would you do if you found yourself in this situation?
Move!
We all know how shadows work. When an object blocks light, it casts its form onto a surface. We all have shadows, right?
Someone explain to me what the fuck this is a shadow of.
Well, a man was out one night when he noticed something strange on the ground. There was a shadow of a long pole, clear as day. But when he looked around, there was nothing that could be casting it. The only pole nearby was several meters away, and it wasn't even close to matching the length or position of the mysterious shadow. So what's happening here? Could this be some sort of glitch in reality, or is there another explanation?
What the fuck this is a shadow of. There's nothing above me.
In this eerie clip, a girl was filming a casual video in the city when a friend holding the camera. She walked into the camera's view, chatting and posing, not noticing anything unusual around her. But as the footage plays back, something strange is visible in the background. Behind her, two other girls suddenly appear out of nowhere, already mid-stride as they walk away. No one in the area seemed to notice them, not even the girl filming, until she reviewed the footage later. Could this be a case of time travel, a glitch in reality, or perhaps even a crossing between parallel universes? In England, there's an old abandoned jail known as Bodmin Jail located in Cornwall. Once infamous for its brutal executions and harsh treatment of prisoners, the place is believed to be haunted. People from around the world visit to explore its dark past, and many have captured strange, chilling activity on camera. One night, a security guard captured a ghostly figure drifting through the corridors. It has a pale head floating atop a dark, robed body. Other visitors have caught eerie scenes from jail doors opening and closing on their own, as well as mysterious orbs moving throughout the place. In one particularly unsettling encounter, a couple took a selfie only to see a ghostly figure peering directly into the camera from behind them. The atmosphere at Bodmin Jail is undeniably eerie. Would you be brave enough to visit? The brain is a very tricky organ, capable of amazing feats and strange deceptions. It's crucial to our existence, but it can sometimes lead us down a path of illusions. Check out this mind-boggling experiment.
Poder da mente. You're gonna make these people believe that this fake rubber prop is actually their real arm.
Seems unlikely.
This is a Fibonacci silk, but let me show you how it works. If I drape it like this, simultaneously...
In the video, a man uses a fake hand to trick people into thinking it's their real hand. Did you see that? It's absolutely wild. The participants know it's a fake hand. They can clearly see their own arm on the table with the fake hand placed beside it, separated by a board. Yet somehow their brain starts to perceive the fake hand as their own. What's really crazy is that they began to feel sensations from the fake hand. Even when a needle is stuck into it, they react as if they're experiencing the pain, despite their actual hand being untouched. This experiment shows just how easily our brains can be fooled.
Poder da mente. Starts to connect the fake arm sensations and make them real. Do you feel this?
Yes.
And that?
Yes.
Someone went into the woods to cut down a tree, but what happened next was truly bizarre. As soon as the first cut was made, there was a sudden gush of air rushing out of the tree. You can clearly hear the sound of the air flowing out, almost like the tree was exhaling. It's such a strange phenomenon, something you don't see every day, or ever for that matter. Trees aren't supposed to do that, right? So what could be causing it? Well, I did some research, and this is what I discovered. When air or gas rushes out of a tree after it's cut, it's usually due to the phenomenon called embolism, or the release of trapped air or gas pockets within the tree. Trees transport water and nutrients throughout a network of vessels called xylem. In certain conditions, such as during extreme drought, air can enter these vessels, forming air bubbles. These bubbles can be under pressure, especially if the tree has been stressed by lack of water or if there is a specific environmental factor at play. When the tree is cut, these pressurized air pockets are suddenly exposed to the outside environment, causing the air to rush out, which can create the sound you heard. It's almost as if the tree is exhaling because of the release of this trapped air. While it's not common, this phenomenon does happen, and it's usually tied to the tree's internal water and nutrient transport system. So while it might seem eerie or unexplainable, it actually has a scientific basis. What do you think, though? Right now across the United States, a massive and underreported wave of wildfires is spreading, displacing millions and devastating vast areas. The East Coast, which isn't typically known for fires of this scale, is now showing multiple active fire alerts across many states. When you check fire maps, you'll see fires scattered throughout the region. Then, looking at the West Coast, there are significant fires as well, though this area is more accustomed to wildfire seasons. But the situation becomes even more alarming as you go up to the Pacific Northwest. Fires have spread across the region, and it doesn't stop there. The problem extends into Canada. In British Columbia and Alberta, wildfires are burning millions of acres, scorching thousands of acres of land at a time. This wildfire crisis is severe, affecting countless people, ecosystems, and homes, yet it seems to be getting a little attention. Could it be that there's so much else happening right now that these fires aren't making headlines, or is there a little more sinister reason for the silence? Are you confused? Good, you aren't the only one. When this showed up in our feed, we weren't exactly sure what we were dealing with, but none of us could deny the fact that this was intriguing. Usually, Julius wouldn't bother himself with these kinds of things, but this time, he took an interest. He thought that if it was real, it could be a grasshopper that looks like that, probably because it's been suctioned. Aaron, on the other hand, thinks this might be extraterrestrial, or something paranormal, if extraterrestrial. Personally, I have mixed feelings about it, but what do you guys think? There are countless conspiracies about UFOs using cloaking devices to blend in with our clouds. Well, take a look at this footage by an unsuspecting man.
Oh yeah, look at this. This is cool. There's the spaceship, you see it? It's right there. Yes it is. I guarantee it, Veronica. Look at it. No, that's what me. Look at it.
In the sky, there was a craft that seemed almost invisible, perfectly blending in with the clouds. It was triangular in shape, nearly undetectable, until it started moving. As it shifted, you could see lights beneath it, revealing the craft's presence. This particular craft is believed to be the TR-3B, a highly secretive and rumored vehicle. But what's even more shocking than the footage itself was the reaction in the comments section. Many viewers suggested that this craft isn't extraterrestrial at all, but rather advanced human-made technology that is being kept hidden from the public. Others speculated that it was created using both human and alien technology. So could this mean that the UFOs we see might actually be the result of human engineering, or at least involving some level of human involvement? If so, what else is being kept from us?
I guarantee it, Veronica. Look at it. No, that's what me. Look at it.
The rate at which skinwalker sightings are becoming more common is truly alarming. Unless, of course, you're a skinwalker enthusiast and are looking to see one for yourself.
What the?
In this footage, a man was driving down a secluded path through the woods when something shocking happened. The woods on the side of the road were on higher ground, and suddenly a figure, what looked like a man, came rolling down the slope and fell right in front of the car. But what happened next is almost beyond belief. As the figure stood up, it wasn't a man anymore. It had transformed into an animal, specifically a deer. The man had somehow turned into a deer right before the driver's eyes, and then the deer bolted off into the nearby woods. What in the world just happened?
What the?
This man heads out early one morning to take out the trash, only to find his garbage floating in the air. He's baffled. To check if he's seeing things, he sticks his leg underneath, and there is nothing. No wires, no stands, and no logical explanation in sight, just his trash can seemingly levitating in front of him like it's decided to perform a little magic trick overnight. What is going on here? Is it a prank, some clever optical illusion, or could it be a glitch in reality itself? While you share your thoughts on that, take a look at this one too. You see the white being walking around in the distance, right? Oh, would you believe me if I told you that this was supposed to have been recorded on a property that was meant to have one new occupant? Somehow, when the individual reviewed the clip from his camera, he saw this person or being pacing around. The funny thing is, not only does he live alone, but he has no neighbors. His property is in a secluded area in the mountains, which got him wondering, who or what was this being? Why was it there, and why did it wait to show up only after he had officially moved in? As important as these questions are, he hasn't received official responses yet, and he's been unable to catch the lady as well. Everyone who heard his story or seen clips from the location believes he's dealing with a ghost. He's repeatedly stated he doesn't believe in such things, but what do you also think? What do you think your response would be if aliens were to climb onto your roof? Well, the individual in the next clip I'm about to show you thought standing still and recording was the best decision. Take a look.
It's
Es un extraterrestre, no.
The individual recording believes that aliens made their way to his property. For some funny reason, they chose to move around on the roof of this structure. We don't get to see a face, but the body structure and movement are far from natural, which is the reason for him stating that this has got to be an alien. I was sold on this, well, not completely, just a little, until I saw his comment under the original post. This has me thinking we could be looking at a human pretending to be an alien, and that this was probably an attempt to go viral. What do you think?
Es un extraterrestre, no.
Locals in a remote area were out one night when they came across something that left them completely stunned.
Olha, tá vendo aí, Drayton? Tem gente que não acredita não numa porra dessa, olha. E tá se mexendo, olha. Misericórdia. Como é que pode uma porra dessa?
It was a floating ball of fire hovering eerily above the ground. None of them could explain how it got there or where it had come from. The orbs of flames just there, suspended in the air, flickering ominously as if it had a mind of its own. The sight of it was mesmerizing, yet terrifying. They were all too frightened to get any closer to it. The way it floated was very haunting, but what could this be or mean? Some of the locals say it might be a fire deity being sent to deliver some sort of message or warning, but no one knows for sure what it could really be. What are your thoughts on this?
Olha, tá vendo aí, Drayton? Tem gente que não acredita não numa porra dessa, olha. E tá se mexendo, olha. Misericórdia. Como é que pode uma porra dessa?
A new worker at the fish counter spotted something shocking, a large black centipede-like creature crawling across the fish. It had long, segmented legs and a body that looked intimidating, especially as it moved with surprising speed. This creature is known as a hellgrammite, the larval stage of the Dobson fly. Hellgrammites are actually aquatic larvae often found in streams and rivers, and they can appear on fish due to their habitat overlap. They're known for their pincers, which can give a painful pinch if handled roughly. Good thing he took a step away from it, or at least we hope he did.
This woman got into an elevator and headed to the ground floor. As she rode down, the elevator passed the ground floor and kept going downward. As you can see, the woman looks very panicked. She tries to get help on her phone, but nothing works. Finally, the elevator stops and the doors open into a dark, unknown place. We can't see much since the camera is in the corner of the elevator, but the woman walks out slowly. As soon as she steps out, the elevator closes and goes back up, leaving her stranded in the darkness. Honestly, I don't know why the woman got off. The place looks so dark and eerie. I would have stayed inside. But then again, this could just be staged footage. But this footage reminds me of the odd legend. Have you heard of the 13th floor urban legend of elevators? It's said that some buildings have secret, inaccessible floors where hidden and unthinkable things happen, unknown to the people who come and go. Could this be the case in this footage, or do you think it's just a hoax? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, there are clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't. Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have.
Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.